My players that we play free finals, like I said now a few times, and I'm hoping, and that's why I every time come up with the word final, that I influence our fans a bit as well, that they understand how important they're going to be tomorrow. So I'm hoping they will not come into the stadium 5 minutes before the kickoff. I'm hoping the whole stadium is already completely filled half an hour before kickoff, and that these players get the reward for what they did in Paris.
It's normal for everybody manager when you have a result, everything is good. When you don't have a result, you have doubts, or club has doubts. It's a normal situation. I'm used to it in this. For every manager is like this, nothing special. I live like these moments. I think about Liverpool and not about what will happen for 1 year or in the future.
Yeah, huge week for Liverpool after the great Paris heist. They have Southampton. I know people will be looking at it and saying, top versus bottom, which we've also said. But it was 3-2 last time they met. Then they also have Champions League in midweek again against PSG, big game, and the Carabao Cup final coming up. So you're shaking your head no.
Yeah, it's not going to be 3-2.
Okay.
It's not going to be 3-2. I mean, this Southampton side, they score the odd goal. They're shocking defensively. They've got the lowest XG in the Premier League. Liverpool have scored 2 or more goals in 25 of their 28 games so far this season. Mo Salah scored 50. He's been involved in 52 goals, as everybody knows, 30 in the Premier League. He had a quiet game in midweek. He will want to come back and get some more goals and assists. I think he's had at least one of each in 11 of the last 13 games. The numbers come out of your ears to tell you that Liverpool are going to pulverise Southampton.
Will he play, Mo Salah, you think?
I think he'd want to play.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm youth manager, so you'll know what I mean when I say this. And all our viewers will as well. I think part of the key to Arne Slot keeping Salah on side is that he plays him all the time. We saw the bust up between Klopp and Salah at West Ham in the last days, and that breakdown. As Slot is concerned, even when Salah came off, he looked like a face like thunder, but then Elliott scoring after 47 seconds kind of made the point.
Yeah.
I think that Salah will want to kind of just remind people who he is. He's having a legacy season anyway. And,
I think what will happen is Arne Slot will talk to Mo Salah and he will talk to Virgil van Dijk and he will ask them if they want to play. I think if he had his way, I think he would like to rest them for this game because he knows how difficult that PSG second leg is going to be, and then the cup final the following week. So.
The only thing I think is that we were listening to Arne Slot talking in the preamble a second ago, and I watched more of the press conference earlier on Friday, and he was really... The message he seemed to be sending out for me is that I don't want there to be complacency around this game.
Yeah.
I want the noise to be ear-splitting. I want the players to be focused. I want everybody to treat this like a final. Because I remember early in the season when they were going to play Manchester United, and everyone believed that would be a cricket score, and Manchester United gave as good as they got. And so I got a feeling... I know you were talking about 3-2 and I was just kind of dismissing it, but I think they will want to be ruthless. I think they'll want to score early so that Southampton can't sit deep, because the game then, what are they going to do? They've got to come out and play, and then I think they'll want to inflict more punishment on them.
And that's probably not about Southampton. That's about the fact that there's this big week, they're in the middle of it, and they want to keep the momentum going.
Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't pick a better time to play Liverpool if you're Southampton. And that sounds really strange, but the only problem is Southampton are so bad. I'm not sure how much life is left in them, how much confidence is left in that group of players. And I'm talking for the manager and the group of players as well. And they go into the toughest place. Anfield is a fortress. Nottingham Forest won there. They would look at that game and they would say, this is how we're going to break them down. That's a template. But listen, I just think there will be changes. If there's ever going to be changes, it will be for this game.
Yeah.
But Darren's absolutely right. If he's whipping the fans up in the media, they can't turn up and all of a sudden he's made 5-6 changes to his team because he's not holding his side of the bargain up. So perhaps you're right.
Yeah, I got to say the Southampton fans were very entertaining in that game against Chelsea. They were singing, "You're not so special, we lose every week." And they kept, they got to entertain themselves. And I'm sure your same story at Anfield. What about midweek? The fact that PSG had 27 or 28 shots to Liverpool's 2.
I think he's right.
And that's why that said, hang it in the Louvre. Liverpool, Southampton.
Liverpool 4, Southampton 0.
Liverpool 6, Southampton 0.
Both yourself and Virgil were in agreement on Wednesday night after the game that, certainly in saying that Alisson is the best goalkeeper in the world. Just tell us, from your point of view, what really sets him apart.
Saving shots. It's probably one of the most important things a goalkeeper has to do. No, I think to become the best goalkeeper in the world, you sometimes need to make saves that others wouldn't make, and I think he had one or two of them Wednesday it was, and in general it was a bit exaggerated talking about 27 shots. He didn't have to make 27 saves, but he had 2 world class saves in big moments for us, because if you go 1-0 down, then the game would even be harder than it already was, being 0-0.
You've made a point a few times this season of saying that not often have you got more than you deserved. I just wonder, is Wednesday an example of that turning around a little bit and developing the opposite kind of habit, which could be crucial now in maybe delivering 3 trophies?
That's a long question, but I leave the little bit out, I would say. We weren't a little bit lucky. We were really lucky. But as Michael Jordan said once, the harder you work, the more luck you have. And this is the biggest compliment you have to give the players. They've worked incredibly hard, and I think even the second half, we didn't control ball possession. We were not the dominant team at all, but we controlled them better than in the first half. And that also has to do with the players being able, if you were 45 minutes, the other team had the ball a lot, you had to defend so much, mentally so strong and physically so strong to come up with the second half performance with not giving away that many open chances as we did the first half, and even scoring a goal on the counter-attack. That shows you how mentally strong and physically strong these players are.
Again though, I mean, we talk about situations like that. There's a saying in English football that your name is on the cup when you have situations like that. Do you look at it like that and think that this is that mentality, that ability to get over the line when you haven't been necessarily your best performance of the season? How crucial is that when you're going for trophies on the proof runs?
If you want to win something, if it's the Premier League or the League Cup or the Champions League or the FA Cup, you need to have once in a while a game where you don't play your best football and you are lucky, which is maybe not luck if you work as hard as we do, to get away with a result. There are almost no teams that play 38 games, or in the Champions League is not as much, only good football. I think Real Madrid is one of the best examples of that. They also find a way to win a game if the other team is better than them. And that's what they did, but I'm not looking at all at the Paris Saint-Germain game anymore. My full focus is now on Southampton, which is the first of 3 finals to be played in the upcoming week.
And therefore, how much has Wednesday taken out of the players, and how does it impact then team selection? Because obviously there is that second leg to come, and then there is a cup final against Newcastle as well.
Yeah, but for me the one against Southampton is by far the most important. Not only because it's the first one we play, but it is a very important one for us. So if I make the choice to play other players, that is because I think that's the biggest chance to win the game tomorrow, and not because I want to rest them for the game against Paris Saint-Germain. So the only way I make a change is because maybe it's only 2 days in between, and then I might feel that playing someone else is a better option because we have many players that are of equal quality. But that then only has to do with us getting a bigger chance of winning the game against Southampton than it has anything to do with the Paris Saint-Germain game.
Morning, Arne. What goes through your mind when you are deciding team selection? Because I know the old cliche is it's one game at a time, but in your mind, do you actually probably know your lineup against PSG and the cup final? Do you think that far ahead?
No, No, not as much as you might think. Of course, you do know what to expect now from Paris Saint-Germain. You do know what to expect from Newcastle. But for me, the most important game is the one against Southampton. And if there would be 3, 4, 5 days in between these two, the last game and this one, I would have probably started the same 11 again, even if there was only 2 days in between for the next one. But since there's only 2 days in between, and we had to fight really hard, and it's not the first game after being 3 or 4 weeks out. It's probably the 50th game in 3 months. I don't know how many. So you take that into account, but you take the quality from the team you face. You take the form of the players. You take how fit they are, which players are best fit best together. So if you look at, we started off with Lucio and Diogo. Where Diogo is a type of player, 9.5 for me almost. He's almost a midfielder as a striker. And then I finished the game with Curtis, who's a midfielder from the left, and Darwin, who's more of a real 9. So these combinations you look at depending on the opposition and the formation of the other team. The good thing for us is, because you guys are till now only focused on Paris Saint-Germain, is that Southampton has the same formation if they have the ball as Paris Saint-Germain has. So now we need to do much better without the ball, so to press Southampton than we did against Paris Saint-Germain. So it's another good test for us.